Welcome to BomiChess. Today we have one game from 1892, and it's the rematch for World Championship title between Wilhelm Steinitz and Mikhail Chigorin. Mikhail Ivanovich Chigorin was a chess player from middle and late part of the 19th century. He was born in a small town near today's St. Petersburg in Russian Empire, and he was born in 1850. And when he was young, he was about 10 years old. His parents died, and he went to orphanage. And he grew up there, and he learned to play chess when he was 15 or 16 years of age. His teacher taught him how to play chess. But he didn't play too much chess back then. He finished his school, and he started working as a government official. But when he was 23 or 24 years old, he started playing chess again, and he founded some chess magazine, and he was also editor of another chess magazine. And when he was 25, he placed third in a strong tournament in St. Petersburg, behind his then trainer and a coach. And so he then started playing chess more and more. He became a chess professional, and soon he will become the best player in St. Petersburg. And he went to international tournament in Berlin in 1881, and he placed third there. So in 1889, he had the first match against Wilhelm Steinitz for the World Championship title. And Steinitz won in that match. And Steinitz was born in 1836 in Prague. Today is Czech Republic, but back then it was Bohemia, Austrian Empire. And he was the strongest player in the world from 1860s until 1894, when he lost the match to Emanuel Lasker, who became world champion then. And Steinitz was one of the most dominant chess players of all time, because he was reigning the chess world for 32 years without losing a single match. And so this was very strong, Steinitz. And this game was played, as we said, in 1892, the rematch for World Championship title between Steinitz and Chigorin. And this was game 1. So let's see how did the game go. Chigorin was white, and he played e4. Steinitz played e5. We have knight to f3, knight to c6, and bishop to c4. So we have Italian game, bishop to c5, gioco piano, and here we have Evans gambit, pawn to b4. This was quite often played in 19th century. So he took the pawn, we have c3, and bishop went to a5. We have kingside castling, and this pawn to d6, and pawn strikes in the center, and d4. So we have this bishop pinning the knight to the queen, and here white pinned the knight to the king. So we have pawn takes on d4, pawn takes to d4, and now this bishop went back to unpin the knight. And here I played this bishop to b2, putting the bishop on the long diagonal. So black played this knight to e7 and wanted to force the exchange of the bishops. So okay, white took, queen took on d7, and here we have this knight to a3. Instead of going for c3, he probably wants to play the knight to c4 next move and trying to undermine the bishop on a5. And knight to h6, strange move. Better would be knight to f6, but probably wants to avoid this pawn push in the center. So knight to c4, attacking the bishop, bishop to b6, and now we have a4. So next move will be a5, and attacking the bishop. So black needs to play something to save his bishop. He played his pawn to c6, and we have this strike in the center, e5. And here black decided to go for d5, which is a very strange move, because now it allows this knight to go here with the check. And white does it right away. Knight to d6 check. So king now must move if you don't want to lose your queen. So king went to f8, and now losing the right to castle. And here bishop to a3, putting the bishop on this diagonal the same as a king. So this is x-raying the black's king. And king doesn't like that, so he goes to g8. And now this rook is stuck in the corner. Not the best position for black at all. Here we have this rook on b file, so pinning this bishop to the pawn. Let's say if the bishop moves, you can simply take that pawn and put the white rook on this beautiful 7th rank. So okay, this knight to f5, attacking this knight on d6, and this knight takes pawn on f7. So knight sacrifice on f7, and king takes the knight. And now we have this pawn to e6, attacking the king and the queen. And if queen takes this pawn, there's a simple tactic on the board. Knight to g5 check, attacking the king and the queen, and we're going to pick up the black's queen. So black doesn't go for that, he takes with the king. And now we have this knight to e5 attacking the queen. Queen goes back to c8, and here rook to e1, x-raying the black king again. So black goes to f6, and now queen to h5. So white is bringing all his pieces to the king's side. King is out in the open. So this is all the result of those that pawn move to d5, not taken on e5. So okay, black tries to defend this by playing pawn to g6, and here we have bishop takes on e7, check, king takes, and now we have this beautiful knight takes on g6, attacking the king with both pieces. So this is check by the rook and by the knight. So king must move, and he went back to f6. And now this knight can simply capture the rook, which white does. He takes the rook, and here we have this bishop take on d4. Instead of taking the knight, black took this pawn here, doesn't want this rook to come to e5 square, and so okay, this was his decision. And here white played this rook to b3. He wanted to put this rook to third file, and now he's going for this f3, pinning the knight and attacking the king. So here queen to d7. Black is protecting this pawn here on h7, and also want to bring this rook into the action, take the knight and bring it somewhere. So white continues with his plan to go to f3. Now this rook takes on h8, and here we have this pawn to g4, attacking this pinned knight. So black is trying to pin this pawn to the king, so rook to g8, and here queen to h6 check. And now we have this rook to g6, attacking the queen and stopping this check. But here white has the move that he played, and after this black simply resigned. If you want to try to find that move, you can pause the video and try to find it. Good luck. So okay, here white simply played rook to f5, check. And now this looks strange, because now the queen can simply take this rook. You cannot retake with the pawn. But then we have this tactic, queen to f8, check. And after king moves, now we have this simple queen takes, check. And after this, black is going to be checkmated soon. So after this rook takes on f5, black resigned the game. So this was game 1 in 1892. Chigorin won, and he announced that this is going to be a tough match. In the end, Steinitz was leading 9-8, and in the last game, Chigorin had a chance to win the game, and he made a blunder. He needed to put he needed to finish the game for the day, and they need to continue it tomorrow. So he should put the move on the piece of paper and put it in an envelope, and tomorrow they are going to open it and see what was the move, and then to continue playing. But he didn't do that. He instead played the move on the board, and the move was actually a mistake, and he lost the pawn on h file, and that was leading to checkmate in 2. So Steinitz won that rematch, and he was still world chess champion. And he only got 2 years later, he lost to Emanuel Lesker, who became the new world champion. So this was the game that Mikhail Chigorin won. Chigorin went on to become one of the founders of Soviet chess school, which was dominant in the chess world during the 20th century. And many players were inspired by his play, like Alexander Alyekhin and Boris Spassky. So okay, this was today's game. I hope that you like it. Write down in the comments what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next game. Bye!